Oh, I've been muted most of that time, huh? Super. Well, I said some things and some stuff that I did. But yeah, here we go. Kex Coyote. And I'll be right back with you folks after this short message from IronVerse Comics. The best of the Weird Space West. Alright, wasn't sure how long my mic is off. Wild Beast, however, is under control for now. I hope. And I'll go ahead and back over here for a second so I can refresh this page and get. And I'm not here to promo a bunch of other people's stuff. I'm here for IronVerse Comics. So yeah. Um, best way to hop into the updates, I guess, is I can show you just all three of the pinups that have been spoiled. Guess I'll start there. Go from there. Yeah, let's do that. Issue number 3 of Jack Irons, The Steel Cowboy. Yeah, so shouldn't be a volume, so we should be good. All right, well, 3 of these 6, so half the pinups. The surprise pinups that were included with issue number 2 have been spoiled. Everybody who's gotten the issue has seen all 6, but in terms of the poster form, only 3 have been revealed, so we're going to go ahead and show you those. First off, there is Family Portrait by Carl O. Rowe of Deathsworn fame and S.E. Tonks. Wonderful colorist. Great piece of the 4 pillars of IronVerse Comics, of our main antagonists, and of what will drive all our stories forward. Love the piece. You, on the other hand, this co-host is gonna rip me apart while I'm trying to work here, trying to make us look professional, Alita. Um, then there's, did I just call it Top Predator? Yeah, I think I just called it Top Predator. It's Tracker Top Predator by the wonderful talents of Paul Billick, 2D Spaceman, J. Paul Chic at Chicopedia, and Ginger Foxy at Crafty Foxy. Um, just killer. Billick did the pencils, Chic did the inks, and Miss Foxy did the wonderful colors. It's just a killer piece. Alludes to a lot that's going to happen in issue number 3 of Jack Irons. Couldn't have asked for a better piece, and it kind of helped design the real design of the character. Great stuff. Good stuff. And now on to the third. We're past some of the. We'll go back to them because I do want to show you some of the packages gotten. But here we go. This right here, called this Tentacle Train, by the wonderful talents of Bruce Patnod of Team IronVerse Comics, but at the time he was Vince Rush, who of course is Team IronVerse Comics. He has done lettering for us since number 1 and has been helpful with promo pieces going and last minute lettering edits. Just great talent. Incredible inker and penciler in his own right. Did the inks on this. And then Josh, the amazing animator, at Morden Knight, did the killer colors. Every time I see his coloring work, I can't think of anybody who's better texturing than Josh that I've worked with. Just incredible stuff. I will have to be right back because the puppy is being a pain in the ass. Right back, folks. He's getting to the phase where she, after all the clothes and trying to rip to pieces. That was a very important shirt, little miss. But yeah, wonderful piece. It's got a few homages to it. I don't want to point any too far out. There's at least 3 I can think of. It came out wonderful. I freaking love this piece, and we've been sitting on these pieces for a very long time. Finally stoked that at least half of them are revealed. Can't wait to show the other half as they get leaked by backers getting their packages. So I'm going to go ahead and then show one of such packages here. For instance, so folks can kind of see what it looks like more in person. And I'll show you another one. Up here. Little blurry, but you get the idea. I'm just stoked that they're getting to people. Really excited about they seem to be arriving relatively unscathed, except for one incident, which we promptly resolved, which is great. Part of it is got bigger bags than I had thought that they thought there was something a little bit. I don't know. I'm not there to do it, so there's things we're gonna tweak as we. Jack 2 was a pretty thick book, 48 pages. It needed a thicker bag than the average comic. I got my proof sent in a average comic bag, and that did not work. Upgrade, but maybe he should have went to the shop and checked with ordering. But you know, it happens. It happens. This dog, he's such a feisty little shit. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Calm your roll here. Slow it. You're attacking me. Stop it. But yeah. Till this animal calms down, it's tough to stay on point. You pain in the butt, who I adore. Come on, you. It's early morning too. She's hyper, been in her crate most. Can't blame. But, yeah. Oh, you want to growl for the folks? You want to eat the mic? Eat the mic then. But yeah, I guess that's that on that angle. Let me go ahead back over here, and then we'll much more to show on the Cactus Coyote campaign. A couple new pages in. I can show those. And doggy dog. You're growling too. That's her being a tough little girl. You toughie. What are you doing? So we'll go on down here. This page, I believe, was revealed of the outside of Spinneroonie in colored. Here is a opening page. All opening pages. This one's probably the newest to get finished. Not in terms of chronological order of the book, but in terms of actual chronological. I think this is out of the pages here, that's done. But there's 2 more pages besides the 2 here, so there's 4 more pages that need to be colored. And I believe that's being done as we speak. Then we'll have the first 10 pages pretty much complete except for lettering. Um, yeah, those will be sitting for a little bit unless you folks, you know, help us rack up those 7s. That would be pretty cool. That would be. Um, let's see. I think I need any of that. So we'll go back on up here. And then I guess I'll get to talking on that, talking about that poll. Yeah. Oh, last time I ran the poll, got a large, ran a poll, it got a very large sample base. It was quite helpful. But the issue was a lot of people have, when you get a large sample base, a lot of people think they understand the question better than you. Correct how you set up the question. That gets a little annoying because I set up the question purposefully how I did. So if there's not an option for you, perhaps you don't need to comment. But either way, that's fine. It helps me design them better in the future. Um, just a, sorry, I gotta respond to something. That should be it. Anywho, so we're gonna go to an old one. The new one already I had to there, but let's see. Where's that old one? Bookmarks. So there's a lot to talk about on that. Go open it up and uh, we'll go talk about that, folks. Just a sec though. I'm gonna retweet that I'm live for the hell of it. It's early morning, Sunday. People are doing all kinds of different things. Come in, say hi. If you're watching, say hi. If you're not watching, I'm gonna assume you're saying hi anyway. Might as well come and watch and then say hi. But okay, here we go. Here we go. Go ahead and slip over here. So here it was. I was having kind of a hard time trying to figure out, where the market is, where to really show our projects. And, been a rougher campaign cycle with Cactus Coyote than Jack had. I ground Jack very hard. I don't know if I could ever replicate the perfect storm that got Jack made, and the goal wouldn't be to replicate it. It's to find the own niche of each project, interlinking or not, um, exploit that. But overall, I need to the market I'm working in, and particularly the space. So out of 420, near 420 votes, um, I had asked why folks are here in indie comics. Are they here for the books? Are they here for other forms of entertainment that are here? Or, what are they here for? And here are our numbers. 18% said the culture war, which I have been out on since I first heard of it. So I'm not here for the culture war, but I don't blame anybody who is. There's things to be afraid of that you need to fight for or fight against. But I personally feel it's too much of that, but I don't begrudge anybody um, for doing what they feel they need to do on their own path. 20% is because they are sick of the mainstream. I called it mainstream fatigue. Some people had some problems with that phrasing. Somebody said, "Oh, you should have put that or forced out. We were kicked out of it." You're tired of what they're putting out. You were never kicked out. Nobody blatantly grabbed you by the collar and threw you out of every comic shop in America. It's not that. It's that the content they're producing is not to your liking. So maybe you got vocal about it. But again, that's not a big deal. I'm not a fan of the mainstream. I'm tired of all the news I'm hearing out of the mainstream, so that makes me not have any interest in buying any current books just to begin with, because it's all not about the books. It's about who's in the books or what color the person of the it is in the book, and I'm tired of talking about those things. Uh, there's better things to be addressing right. But you know, anyway, I understand mainstream fatigue probably the most out of the other options besides unique comics. And then there's personalities and opinions. Um, the people's YouTube shows, they're sniping against other creators or towards other creators. The political stances they have while creating, how vocal they are, all of that. That's personalities and opinions. And a lot of people really enjoy that kind of content. And obviously, not as many as I thought. Less than 10% of this sample size is why they're here. But so with that, those three, culture war, mainstream fatigue, and personalities and opinions, about 40. It should be 20, yeah, 45%. 45% of the market is not really to do with comics. Mainstream fatigue kind of roll over into unique comics because they still want to buy comics. So where are they going to get them? That could be good. So that 20% there, which is the highest of the other options, really can be moved to either point. Some people are tired of the mainstream because of the culture war. That other side that's also fighting. Um, and some are tired because of the personalities and opinions. So it doesn't fit directly, but basically, about 45%, just slightly less than half the market, does nothing strong to do with comics. Again, mainstream fatigue's the one that's a little shaky, and it's a big chunk of it. Basically, at least a quarter has absolutely nothing to do directly with the comics. Um, so that's a big chunk, and those three are things I don't tend to interact with because I try to stay on the up and up and the positive. Uh, those three don't allow that so much. It really is about tearing down and then pointing out that you're tearing down. But I don't know. There's That's not true for every case. It's not true for most cases. I would probably say I don't know enough and I don't involve myself enough to really put too much an opinion so strongly forward like I just did. But yeah, it's interesting. The poll really did show that half the work's done if you're putting out a cool book, and then you have the cool book ready or whatever, and you're trying to show it to folks. Well, there's three angles that I'm seeing, and it's tough. It's tough for my personality type, and it's tough for who I am to deal with a lot of these things. But I want us to be a success. We have incredible talents attached to Team IronVerse Comics, so I'm just trying to learn as much as I can. Um, simple methods, and I was just very proud that we got such a large sample size to help me figure this out. But we'll take a break from that. I'll be right back. What these things are. Uh, eh, um, yeah, I gotta respond here too. Sorry, folks. Discuss among yourselves. Oh, just be a second. Be a second. Da, 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 da. Just explaining the merits of self-marketing to somebody because in a perfect world, no artist would have to self-market because a lot of them are not good with people. Sadly, that is not the reality we have right now, so you have to work very hard. Bum 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 bum. Uh, okay, well, at least I'm getting good interaction on this one too. Good thoughts already. That's good. Um, yeah. So, folks, I don't have too much else to do here. This is the current poll. Do you prefer creators who take strong stances and are willing to be combative for their thoughts? There's nothing wrong with being combative for your thoughts if it's working to market your book and attract an audience. Or do you prefer creators to keep their heads down, just create? Again, if you keep your head just down, you won't be attracting attention, which is very good and very bad. So again, like I said on there, there's no wrong answer. I just want to see what the public likes. So far, out of 20 people, it's 89% and 11%. But as the week goes on, I'm sure it might get closer and closer. I really don't know. That's why I'm doing the poll. Um, but with that, I guess I'll do one more retweet of this thing. Guess I gotta add it to the bookmarks though to do that. So I'll do that. Doggo finally fell asleep. That's great. my my hand was getting chewed pretty good. And yeah. Um so with that, let's see, we've been going nearly a half hour. That's kind of neat. Didn't think make it that far. I keep this one bite-sized. I haven't eaten breakfast or had any coffee or anything. I just thought, get this done, get it on air, see what kind of audience is there early in the morning. Turns out not much so far, but you never know. I could maybe hang a little longer, try and figure out what I can do at the moment to involve people. I might just switch to poker night for a little bit, or I don't know, something else. I could do a few different things, or I could just wake up and go have myself some coffee and some food. That would be good. I would like, I would like folks to go and uh, check out the books. Um, the Cactus Coyote #1 campaign. 5 days left, folks. That's it. That's it. And the likelihood, though we have 37 amazing backers, thank you so much for putting your money behind us. We need at least 10 times that in the next 5 days. At least. And they have to back higher than our lower tiers to even have a shot. And so, with that, it's a long shot. It's a difficult gamble, and though I'm exceedingly proud to have been marketing and pushing this book, and will continue to do till the final hour, um, there's only so much I personally can do. And I've done quite a lot for the book, and I do wish there was more energy behind it, not just on the IronVerse Comic fan side, which, I appreciate you folks, and we're new. Just got the second book out finally of Jack, so I understand trepidation. You folks had to wait, very patient. And I also understand with this book, it's by dollar coins, it's not by me. has my word and has my editing behind it, but it's not me. So I understand that as well. Particularly in the case of community interaction, Dollar is a little bit less aggressive in that standpoint than I am, less communicative. I've got him on one live stream. I've been trying to get him on more, but last one I tried, he just noped out of. So, private person, hell of a creator, wonderful material. Just people don't know him, and people like to back the creators almost more so than the books. And so, though you folks would be backing me by doing Cactus Coyote, very much so, it really helps build everything I'm trying to put together. Again, I understand it's not mine in the same way. So at least take a look, consider it. It's wonderful art, wonderful members of Team IronVerse Comics. It's a fun fucking story. The production values are very high. You don't get this kind of wacky, weird space western anywhere but IronVerse Comics, and you won't be getting it unless you folks get behind us and get this thing funded last hour, which is 110% possible, but nothing we can force to happen. So, you know, and I can't say when Cactus will be back. I can say he will be back. We put quite a bit of backing into getting this campaign ready and paying for the things we've paid for and all that, and we're going to use them. But I can't say when Cactus will be back if you folks don't back it now. And so that would mean quite a bit. If somehow some miracle came through and we were able to fund this thing last hour, that would be a hell of a thing. That would light some fires under our asses that need to be lit. But I understand, folks. I get it. People are and money's tight these days too. We did go ahead and lower the entry fee for a physical issue, but in doing so, we also have to get more backers. But it is what it is. We'll try it. We try it once. We'll try something else again down the line. This kind of said a lot. Trying to get this funded. Again, 5 more days. If anything can happen in a moment, let alone five full days. But it is what it is. Um, but it is going to show a lot to what we're trying to do. Um, it kind of shows how interested folks are in what we're trying to do as well, and that's a thing. And it's so difficult working in indie comics, at least socially. The marketing angle, the part I'm trying to do right now, it's not where my enjoyment of this art comes from. Sometimes I'll get some great enjoyment and meet somebody really awesome and worth talking to and interacting with, but um, a lot of the time it's just yelling at a wall and not even getting a reflection of what you said bounce back. You're not getting anything back. Yelling into the void, I guess that is. They yelling at a wall, and that can get hard. It gets difficult, especially when the void that you're yelling into is also yelling back all kinds of stuff you don't really care to hear. Not part of your world, and not yelling back at you. It's just yelling, so you're there to hear it. But that's the burden. That's what you take on trying to do this. It's just without the support, there's just no way any of it's gonna happen. So. There's only so much struggling against the tides we can do before there's just no fuel energy left, and it will fail. And it's very tough out there to do this. Uh, it looks like a lot of people. again, getting a lot of people who I didn't communicate properly to about with this vote. They keep thinking it's about political messages in the book. I don't give two shits about political messages in the book. I care about if people are treating each other with a certain level of respect that shows that the industry is something welcoming, and I care about the fact that the combative, ugly sides overshadow all the wonderful and magnificent art that's being done, even by those people that are being, that's what I care about. I'm very curious if people share that opinion of mine or not. But a lot of people think it's about political messages books. I don't care. I've got small political messages in my books. I don't care. If you're gonna beat somebody over the head with them, then you're gonna lose usually a good half your audience. But that's not what I care about. If individual creators are losing part of their audience, um, then that's that's your bag. It could work very well for you if you have a very dedicated funding, but you'll run off a lot of people like me who either in your book or outside your book don't wanna deal with that. Um, da, da, da. Who? But it's I'm just trying to figure out something I have no experience or natural inclination towards, and that makes things tough. Makes things tough. But I think let's see. Maybe I'll close out at the end of this real life hour. Doesn't look like there's going to be too much interest in folks coming and saying, "Hey." Um, but that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Um, here, let's see here. Let's do that. We showed that, so I don't think I need that anymore. It's just an interesting talk. And yeah, let's go ahead and show this real quick. This is what IronVerse Comics has done so far. He doesn't have his poster alongside these, which is fine. But now there's two of them. In fact, he does on a different photo, to be fair. Just this one he wanted to show. This is what our campaign has delivered so far. Two wonderful, weird space western issues. 80 pages of content and a calling card, a cactus coyote. Um, Again, we're really hoping that Cactus can get funded. Have been since the beginning, since we've been pushing it. But if the interest isn't there, the interest isn't there. That's just how it goes. Can't force interest, except by means that force interest into yourself and not your work. Uh, Dollar Coins isn't that kind of guy so far, or else he probably would have done it already. I'm not a person who control what what the team does in terms of how they want to market and present themselves. But I do wish that there was more heat behind that, because if we could have gotten that rolling, we could have had two ongoing titles um, up and rolling, and basically keep everything going, keep the awareness going. Jack's got a good amount of awareness, good amount of heat behind him, and since issue two's been coming out, it's been really cool to see a little bit of that reignited. Flame get turned up just a little bit. But the real telltale whether or not IronVerse Comics sticks around will be issue number 3. Jack. Um, Cactus can show if we'll stick around too, but only if he gets funded, not if he fails. Fails, then we've got we've got plan B's and C's, but after those points, it's especially if Jack 3 can't get funded. If the interest isn't there, people don't want to see the continuing journeys of the Steel Cowboy, then they don't want to see it. And there's only so much of my heart and passion I can use to make something happen. uh, I've thrown as much as I can behind everything IronVerse Comics does, and behind as much as I can of everything that Team IronVerse Comics does, all their personal projects and uh, out of personal projects, things they're doing for other folks. And, I love being a presence there. I love trying to be a positive booster and someone interesting to interact with. And my books are not so much that. And I love the fact that people can accept both sides. The fact that I write very depressing, aggressive, gory works, and yet I do my best not to present myself as those things. I appreciate it very much because I don't really want to present it personally as any of those things. But it's hard out there, folks. The best I'm gonna be able to tell again. It gets easier when it can be just about the actual work and less about navigating the environment. The way for it, for us, for me in particular, selfish request is have the funding to focus, not have to study the marketing, not have to study the environment, not have to dodge the landmine, because we are floating above them and getting our own thing done. Didn't work so far with Cactus Coyote, so I'm still trying to find some way to reach you wonderful folks and show you how awesome what we're doing. Um, it's still up to you folks to want to engage that. If it's a no, we will hear you loud and clear soon enough. We're gonna be a little stubborn because it's. I particularly am gonna be quite stubborn because this means the world to me. Thing I want to do the rest of my life. Um, there's only so much though. This in particular, I have a lot less interest in writing other things, other books. Not what I want to do, but sometimes you have to be willing to play the cover songs. And if I get enough opportunities to play cover songs, sure, I'll go ahead and do that. But I've had a couple opportunities. Actually, I begrudge them. But especially since I took them. But who knows when they'll manifest? Um, and of course, it was like everything I've done with Jack so far. It was completely for free. Um, all of the money we got from the Jack Irons campaigns went into the Jack Irons books production and fulfillment as crowdfunders. If if they don't make enough to provide a profit, in fact, Jack lost some money. To be fair, maybe I could have covered production costs. Um, I'll find out here soon. Waiting till the issue filled, and then Wicked Publishing and I have quite a bit to discuss in terms of raw numbers that I need to have so I can figure out if it's continue comics, this economy and the cultural environment, and the indie comic sphere. It's, I'm tired, folks. That's why the enthusiasm that I had for Jack just was not to the same extreme. Cactus Coyote. I'm tired. I nearly out just a couple weeks ago. I pretty much did back up and got back on the horse, but only so many times where your legs are broken and mashed. Self up's way more pain than it's worth. back on the. If you folks like what we're doing, easiest way is to continue doing what so many wonderful folks do, support and spread the word. Again, I don't know. Got 5 days on Cactus Coyote. A miracle could occur. The odds are very low on that happening. So I understand people's trepidation and gotta wait for the until you have your money back, but it does matter quite a bit to us. Each tick up of this campaign does mean funding it. Put in $3, no shipping, different. Put in $5 plus 5 shipping. Get your book if fund if $10, you'll get bucks back. You don't have to back the higher tiers. Higher tiers would allow us to fund. We got 425 backers. Jack Irons won. 420. That was incredible. The fact that we were able to make the money we did to fund it. So, backers. Incredible. If I had charged more books, 35 shipped. 5 shipped anywhere. That was a big. That also definitely hit if there were any profits for Jack. that's what killed him right there. But that's what happens when you jump into something you know very little of, and people are actually enthused about it and want to make it happen. And at this point, we know much more about it, but the enthusiasm's not the same, and I don't know what to do at that point. But so I'm reaching, I'm grabbing, I'm grasping, I'm trying to find any angle. I started this YouTube as an angle, trying to get some attention. Almost at 100 subs. Thank you so much, folks. But again, not that much interaction on this, so it's again just yelling into a void, which isn't all that productive. So I don't know, folks. I don't know, and I'm really I'm optimistic because of the wonderful talents I work with, because of the wonderful supporters we had. But that uphill trail just keeps getting steeper. It had the potential to switch to a downhill, self-funding, a perpetual motion engine. It had the chance to run itself, keep running. Still does, but I'm figuring out that that's not a likelihood. That is extremely is a big downer too. So I would like to find a way to at least be able to fund time we try to fund. A lower goal would be good with Cactus, for instance, instead of being at only 7% at $725. If you had done it at like $2,500, and then just hoped for the extra $5,000, and then built in the coloring costs and all that into stretch goals, there's a chance the perception would have looked better because we would have been about 30% done instead, and at this point, or maybe even further because it would have looked better as it goes. But I don't know. I really don't know. There's just so many moving parts out there, folks. I just don't know how to utilize them as much as I wish I did. You don't want to create, you can't recreate magic in a bottle sometimes, but you can make new magic, and that's what we've been trying, and it's harder out there than it was. I see nobody ended up in chat. That's fine. Maybe some folks will see this later. It's Sunday, again, not the greatest time to be doing this. I think I will be closing out here relatively quickly. I don't have much else to say except for to keep trying to figure out what I'm doing so I can do it better. And I am I don't know what to say, folks. I just don't know. It's I love the work. I love the art. I love
I
the
don't have much
people.
else to say except for
To keep trying to. I wish people were kinder, but that's been a wish for eternity, and it's slowly occurring over generations and millennia. It's not something that's occurring. That's gonna occur in my lifetime. People are just gonna be assholes because people are assholes. But it would be better if the enthusiasm and passion from combative means to cooperative means. But it is what it is. And I really hope that IronVerse Comics can be one of those beacons and continue to be a sign of, if not true professionalism, in terms of making money and a living off of our work, that we can continue to, as you'd call this, a hobby, I guess, though I consider it my fifth job. um, um, that we can continue to show the path that, or at least that I can continue to show the path that I want to continue walking. The rest of the team, everybody else, they can do what they need to, however they feel, but there's not enough kindness out there. There's not enough fun interaction. And there's far too much. You are wrong. I need to tell you wrong again and again. And it's just people yelling at each other, those two things, again and again. It's not something I find a worthy investment of time. Yet somehow it finds an audience. We haven't found an audience. I really hope find something that something different um, to find an audience. You know, and it's tough out there to do that. But I guess with that, I'll go ahead and stop. Let me see what time it is. Going 50 minutes. I wouldn't mind doing another 10 or switching to a game or something, but oh, I don't know. I've been low energy today. Again, haven't eaten or had my coffee. Obviously, a bit down on things. Oh boy. So yeah, a lot of people don't understand the environment we're working in, and I obviously do not communicate questions very well quite often. That's all I'll say. This person thinks I'm actually going up to people and shaking their hand to market. I wish I could. I wish I could shake everybody's hand who's listening to this, and the eye contact and the personal interaction. Man, that would make a world of difference. I'm a hard worker. People tend to like my attitude. They like working with me. They like interacting and meeting me. Um, that would be great. Can't do that. Closest I can do is be very polite through text and very and speak as truthfully and honestly as I can through this YouTube channel. I'd love to go on more live streams. That was one of the keys to success at Jack last year. We were getting some small channels that we were doing. We're still getting 300 views, um, things like that. Small channels that have less than that in subs. We're getting these huge amount of views when we large creator live streams. In terms of a large amount of creators, fill up Google Hangout. But I like even people I've worked with, I'm having a harder time wanting to engage and interact with, and they're making it harder and harder to want to promote their books. Um, Nobody in Team IronVerse Comics, which is great, but pinup artists I worked with who I respected. One in particular today, it's just they're going to bat for people who don't deserve them going to bat for them in that way. It's fine to enjoy um, the fact that the work's actually finally getting out and people are seeing that, even though it's not the first work that they had funded, and that first work isn't still out. But I'm just trying to. We're owning people. There's no reason to do that. Why, you want to be a slave master? Is that why you're owning? I don't. I don't understand trying to feel bigger over people over funny books. I don't get it. But anyway, I keep rambling. This one's gonna be an interesting IronVerse Comics updates in AMA. That's for sure. I would switch to a game, but nobody's here to even listen at the moment. Again, that is what it is. It's fine. I wouldn't mind somebody to have bounced some of these thoughts off of, but but anyway. Just a second, folks. This person keeps thinking they know what I'm talking about, and they still haven't. After trying to explain it 3 times, they still think it's something else. So it's not a combative thing. It's just a lack of communication. I'm trying to. Huh. This guy thinks there's big investor meetings that I would go to and shake hands and get people to throw me $500 to get this thing made, and then they'll get a kickback. No, that's not crowdfunding. But you know, it is what it is. Okay, so now it's 11:04. We almost hit that hour mark. 3 more minutes. That's cool. If anybody's here has any questions before I sign out, that'd be great. I don't mind staying longer if that's the case. Otherwise, I'll be out of here 3 minutes. I spent more than enough time talking about why I did that poll while I'm doing this other poll. And what I'm trying to figure out through those. I also touched on the work that's coming out. The last 5 days of Cactus Coyote, which it could happen. I'll leave it there. It could happen. But it is not currently happening. That much I'll tell you. But it is what it is. I hope to continue to get our wonderful projects out in front of people, and I really do hope. God, see, I just try to scroll for a minute, maybe look for some art or something that'll inspire me. Boom! This guy likes this book, so you suck. Oh, you suck harder for not liking it. Like, people, grow up. This is wonderful art. This is good teams working together. This is a manifestation of an experience that these creative members were able to do that nobody else could do. Celebrate that instead of just tearing at each other. But I don't know, folks. I don't know. It's, best I can say is just try and be kind. That's all I can ask, you know. Um, but it's too tough out there, and I really believe in our teams, and I really hope that we are able to continue to fund those wonderful talents, or if not through IronVerse Comics, that they are able to find a way to continue to work. The work really needs to be out there. The artists and the writers and the creative talents we work with here, they deserve all the success in the world. And if I cannot be that funnel, I cannot be the prism that helps that occur through IronVerse Comics, so be it. But I think we have the potential. We've already done it twice. We're working on the third, and I'm hoping, still hoping, last 5 days it'll happen. But you never know. You never know. We got one person in chat. Just a second, my friend. I can't see it on my second monitor for crap. Um, all right. Thank you for Force Coast Burst Reynolds. Thank you so very much. I'm glad you enjoyed. Uh, well, you haven't gotten to it. It sounds like you haven't read it yet. So one thing I can't comment and agree 100% on. It looks incredible. The talents that went into issue number 2 were just crazy. It took a long fight to find another colorist to fill the shoes after issue 1, but it was done. We filled those shoes, and it helped change the vibe for issue number 2, which kind of needed to happen anyway. Um, because of the time difference in our line artist's skills. He's a young man, and there was 4 years of difference between issue 1 and issue 2 getting drawn, and so that obviously his style had changed. So changing the colorist wasn't so bad either. We lucked out. I'm glad you liked the poster. It was our thank you for being so damn patient. Because at any point, and still kind of, but less so now that we're getting the books out. At any point during that, I could have been confronted by a wave of refunds that I could not have honored simply because the funds had already gone. Depending on what time period, time frame it was, but the hardest thing you could do to somebody who crowdfunds for the price of the book, what it will cost to get made, and not for a profit, um, is the fact that at any point the customers just pull the rug out from under. I would get it done. I had a few ways to get it done, but it would have left my life, my awful, for so many reasons. Financially, of course, but also personally, it would have destroyed me. So I'm very blessed by our supporters being patient, and I'm truly hopeful that we can continue to put out quality, weird space western stories that nobody else can do. And in fact, I'm confident we can with the funding. But again, it all trickles back to funding and awareness. I do care a lot about our fans, quite a bit. Had 2 refund requests. One was because he thought I was somebody else and had acted terribly during a live stream or whatever. I've never done that. I am the most polite motherfucker you folks will deal with. I'd rather there be an awkward silence for 20 minutes than a mean word said, by far. But so that guy, he definitely had the wrong person. And then there was another one, but not because he didn't want the books or didn't want to wait any longer for the books, but because he needed the money at that point. It was important to him to have the money, so I refunded right away. Um, and I was able to because one refund, it was 100 refunds, a bunch of them. So it means a lot. It means a lot that's also showing and is going over to is being communicated to our, because you can care about the fans. Uh, you would die for them, and if they don't know it, it's not going to help you continue doing it. So as long as I'm able to communicate the importance that each person who takes the time to look at our work, fund our work, and then to enjoy our work, that's where the magic lies. That's the ingredients. That's the thing that makes anything happen. The rest of it is trying to let people know that they could help that happen. And I try to do that the best I can, but again, only so much a single person can do. Um, though always looking for better angles, ways to do a better job. I've been in a rut for a while. I was really hoping Cactus would help pull us out of that rut, and it somewhat did. It allowed me to flex my marketing muscle again, which was really fun last year with Jack, but much quieter this year with Cactus. It's because folks have now been waiting for their books that they were so hyped to get last summer. Folks have been, listening to the drama for how freaking long. Um, it's tough. I really am unsure the angle, because a lot of those people manifested both kinds of fans. They manifest, or not fans even. They manifested both kinds of interactions and engagement. They manifested people being pissed at them, and not wanting the books anymore, or being aggravated that they supported this thing and it's taken so long to get there. But they also have manifest super fans who will defend them even if the book never came out. That's great, I guess, for that. But then when you feed that and support that on both sides by fighting that you don't like and way supporting that you really enjoy, fighting your enemies. But you shouldn't have any enemies as a marketer. But it's disheartening for somebody who has no interest in engaging either of those. And yeah, I'm hoping these polls will help show me and other creators a better perspective, at least with raw numbers attached to it. The last one we did, a good amount, a good sample size, and was very proud to get that sample size, so I could get a good idea. And it's about half our market that isn't so much about the comics, but how you present the comics, and the primary bit is the comics. But it's a very slim margin. In fact, a whole quarter of it is the fact that, or a whole fifth of it, excuse me, is the fact that the mainstream's just fucking up comic fans. Like a quarter of the reason we have any of the market out here in indie is because the mainstream isn't catering to them anymore. We wouldn't have that at all without that, and that was a heck of a realization too. So it's yeah. I'm hoping those polls will continue. I've got probably a few more to bang out over the coming weeks to figure out, because we do have other crowdfunding campaigns lined up after Cactus. They have to do with Jack, so they're most likely going to be more popular. That would be the hope. But I can't say. Um, I just clicked on an idea on how to get maybe more crowdfunding publisher through a different means than like Indiegogo or Kickstarter. I might have to look into that. That would be better. Get monthly dues. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's rough seas out there. Rough seas out there, and I'd like better marketing. Uh, but yeah, I guess with that we've been an hour and 10 in. Thank you so much for voicing Force Ghost. I've been talking to the void for the last good hour of this, so appreciate a few other things to discuss, and I really hope when you read issue number 2 you enjoy it. I feel my writing was probably the weakest point of the book, so I would like to know if the story entertained, because I know the art will. It's just wonderful visual. Hate what I wanted, but if I'm not actually communicating what I wanted, it's not so great. Um, yeah. And again, the poster too. I really hope you enjoyed that. It was a uh, joint idea between myself and Wicked Publishing, trying to do something a little extra for your folks' patience that you guys didn't expect. Just because it's been crazy. It's been unbelievably crazy, humbling that you folks have been as kind and as patient and as supportive as you have been. Long freaking campaign that's finally winding down because people are getting their book. Wonderful. That's they enjoy them that much more, but at least I'm finally able to hold up my end of the bargain, right? Anyway, I've been Cody with IronVerse Comics. This has been another IronVerse Comics update and AMA. I usually do these Fridays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. But this last Friday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, my internet was out. My county and I think a couple adjacent counties' internet was out, so that was not doable. And then yesterday was just a long, rough day. So I decided to do it now while I had the inspiration and the motivation and the dedication. And salutations to all you folks. Good to see you folks. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for those who give a like, who decide to subscribe, and those who come on in and say howdy. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys on down the line. Take care, folks.